computer. Okay. I just need to connect. Or it's better to
at this point. Ya, acto español, ¿verdad?
Okay, thank you. While he's putting the computer, I'm gonna make a short introduction about mathematics, because it's very related with all those things that we have been seeing today. So my connection is about programming, but not programming computers or machines or whatever. Is how to present all these things to an audience, no? All these proposals that you have been brought here to an audience, because sometimes, or most of the time, there's a lot of question about how to present it. And my role as a programmer, as a presenter, I'm not a researcher in the way of you do your work, but as a presenter, all the time I have to concern about how to present this for my audience or for every audience. So I wrote a text, it's too long, but I'm not going to read, and I just would like to put some slides here. There is just a few of them. And just to talk about a little bit about this role of the programmer, because sometimes it's a kind of ghost entity, or sometimes it's a kind of a king of the universe. So it's very difficult position. So, just a second. Okay, thank you. So the first thing is, who's this guy, the programmer? The programmer is just someone that have the role or the function to contact the artists, to see what the artist has been doing, and figure out how to present to an audience. And this involved in a festival, involved in a showing, involved in a showcase, or just a single presentation. So, I'm going to make just an introduction here. The role of the programmer seems to be a challenge in the field of performative artists, more than just choose some performances and put together in what we call program. Programming in this moment just means a series of performances presented in some order of preference or convenience. Should be like that. Well, depend of what you call the programmer. It's like we have many different kinds and scales and proposals that programmers should take in attention. Is like if you have a theater that presents just commercial things, is of course the concern is very different than kind of displays that present some piece connected with technology and developing of this field. So in this way, the question of programming here takes another step. So my concerns in research go in this direction. In our contemporaneity, is required to create context to present a work. It means that for every performance, I have to create a context. I cannot just present things and wait in the audience, just enjoy and clap hands and go back on the next presentation. So it gives me a lot of problem, to make this bridge, this connection that translate what you would like to present as artists or research to an audience that comes and would like to see something. And that's the main question. So this is this guy. There's a lot of good example about programming and bad example. So the program can have to work to build a really reasonable series of proposals to present an audience, and as well to think about what they would like to achieve or to give to an audience. It's a very difficult task, no? Sorry. Yeah. So I question what is the role of the program and consequence of the choices, that I just told. The audience, it's a paradox or just a question point. Because it's like sometimes you listen some artists saying that I don't care about the public or the audience, but this is very old-fashioned way of thinking. Because the audience, it's a kind of organism, live organism that have wishes, aims, and they evaluate what they are seeing. So it's very important not to forget the audience in this kind of role. And especially how to program contemporary art. Because it's like contemporary art is, in the way, is for some of us, it's our days, all the time we are working on this. But some for the audience, it's something else that they have to create references to enjoy, and not the question of enjoy, plus go back and have a kind of thoughts, insights, and positions about what they are seeing. What's the program? So the question of the program is not just to choose some performance, but to make connections between this performance and the aims that you would like to reach. Because as a professional, the programmer has to present some objectives to be reached. And this objective has to be clear, not just for the other professionals, but as well for the audience that comes to see the show, any kind of show. So that's it. So then the audience is not a kind of abstraction. It's really an organism, a group of thoughts, of meanings, of wishes, of aims, that we have to respect and fulfill the expectations. So, and then the program have to come here and make a very precise work that they have to make a connection between the aims of the artists and the expectations of the audience. And sometimes it's very rich for work, sometimes it's vast unpleasant work, because you have to say no for the artists, because you have to, your audience, and sometimes you just go further and present some pieces for the audience that you just crack down the opinion of the audience. This is a very important point. So this is some of our programs that I have been doing for the last 20 years. One is performative and, how can I say, no. The first was a dance video festival. Now is a performative arts and technology festival. It's called Frame. Now is Frame Research. This one, Novas Danças, Novos Públicos, is a festival, a dance festival for youth, children and the youth, for the young people. So, because this, and I have to think about all those festivals, because there's some approaches and some aims that I would like to reach in each of this program. So to conclude is just simple. To present a work is a challenge, just as for you, artists and research, as you have seen these days, and as well is for me as a programmer. So is my role in this Metabody project. I'm not a research, and I'm more observer. I'm here more to see things and try to relate how I can bring it to my audience. And that's the main point of my role in this process. And this 5 years Metabody project, because it's like some of the extracts that I have been seeing here in these 2 days, some of these tracks I can say I cannot present, not now. Some of these tracks I would like to present tomorrow, because it's very interesting to create bridges and to continue the work that I have been done. And as I've told in the beginning, sometimes the presenter or the programmer, sometimes feels he's a kind of a ghost that nobody knows, but we see the work, and sometimes it feels like a king of the world. See, it's really, really unpleasant position of both things. But I have some few examples that how this works very well. One of the first example is a Spanish association called de La Porta, de Barcelona, that some years ago they launched a festival called Dança or No. Why? They have some, before was a dance festival, and then they start to present some pieces that they hardly could call it dance. So, and instead to play with the audience, they was really, really intelligent and smart. They changed the concept of the festival and make wider. So then happily they could make it to present a lot of different kind of performances. And as well, another good example is now I forget the name of the guy. Is Darmé from the Biennale de la Danse de Lyon. Guy Darmé, exactly. That what he does in the past with the Biennale de la Danse is to bring a lot of new interest into dance from the audience. He brought a lot of audience and maintained this audience for many years before he got retired, and now is a challenge for the new director of the Maison de la Danse. That fortunately she is going to fulfill all this expectation. So what he did is very interesting, because he could make and bring a lot of new proposals, new ideas to bring new inputs, and the audience just respond in a good way, because every year, every edition of the Biennale was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the audience just could fulfill all the expectations of the program work was done. So this is a question of for all of you that has been creating a work or developing a new research, or would like to present a new thing. It's sometimes the programmers say no because there's difficult just to say yes, and sometimes the programmers say yes because it's really mean yes for what they really like fulfill. And it's not just for the audience, as well for the artists. From my own experience, it's like 2 weeks ago, I have an event in Porto called the MAP. It's Creative Process Showcase. That during 2 weeks, I present many of works that at the moment is just in process of creation. It's not just final work. And then it becomes more difficult because I really don't know. When I choose, I really don't know what's going to be, because I have to choose 2 months before the festival, and when I present, a lot of things have changed. So it's a challenge, but it's very pleasant for the audience that could come and see and understand the artists, and as well for the artists, because they have a tool in the middle of their creation that they have a lot of feedback from the audience. So in this way, the question of programming is really a matter of understanding of each other, artists and audience, and someone in the middle that we call programmer, that try to be these bridges between both. And so, thank you very much, and again, thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks to you all. And I remind you that at 10:30 down here, Reverso is doing a street performance. Thank you. Till tomorrow.